Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about two books in a series. The first one is called Shiver, and the second one is called Linger, both by Maggie Stiefvater. I think that's how you say it anyway. It's complicated looking. This book series is actually about werewolves, but not in a mythical creature magical sort of way, which I really like. It's more of a scientific way of how werewolves could exist if they did exist. In fact, most of the time in the book, they're not referred to as werewolves, they're just referred to as regular wolves, because that's what they become after about 10 years of shifting back and forth. What makes them shift is the cold, which is hence why the first one is called Shiver. Shiver focuses on a girl named Grace and a boy named Sam. Grace sees this wolf outside of her house all the time, and she's seen it since she was a little kid. It's the time that she was bitten by wolves when she was about 7 years old, and she remembers this one wolf looking at her while she was being attacked. She's never been bitter about her attack. In fact, ever since the attack, she'd always seemed sort of drawn to the wolves in a way. She always sees this one wolf that has these yellow eyes, and she just always stares at it from her back porch. You know, she just knows that that's her wolf, you know, that's her wolf. And one day she comes home and she finds this boy on her back porch, and she looks up at him and he looks at her, and she sees those eyes and she knows that that's her wolf. And so comes the cycle of Grace becoming aware that there are wolves that are also humans that are living in the woods behind her house. The book is written in first person, which is really neat. The first book, Shiver, really just deals with Sam and Grace's relationship and dealing with wolves and keeping Sam from shifting, because Sam loves being a human and he doesn't want to shift. The first one I liked, and it really drew me in, and I loved the story and I loved how it was written and everything. But I was a little put off by Sam and Grace. I didn't feel like I knew them very well. I felt like their likeness towards each other was sort of forced in a way. But in Linger, I really loved them as characters, and I got why they were together and why it worked. Shiver is written in first person from the perspective of Grace and Sam, and it switches off, so it'll say chapter 1, Grace's perspective, and it'll say the temperature outside, which is kind of cool and fun, because, you know, the wolves change with temperature, so it sort of makes sense that she's done that. Now, the sequel, Linger, just came out last week, and I believe she's writing a third one. I mean, she has to. The ending of this one was sort of open-ended, and it was just as fantastic. I loved that she still did the character name at the top and then wrote in the first perspective of what they were thinking, but I liked that she opened up. Instead of doing just Sam and Grace, she opened up to a new character named Cole, and she also opened up to a character that we met in Shiver called Isabel, and we kind of got to see their first-person perspectives on things. We also learned more about the wolves, why they're scientifically, you know, wolves and humans, what makes them shift, which is also really interesting. I thought it was a lot more believable than, say, like Twilight or something, where, you know, werewolves are like, oh, we're just born that way and we shift because we can, and I don't know. I thought that this explanation of why werewolves exist was much more interesting, and I liked that she didn't call them werewolves. It was always like the wolves or wolves, you know. It made it more believable to me, and how Sam was raised and everything about Sam and Grace was more solid, I think, in this book, which I liked, because in this one I felt like they liked each other, but I felt like it wasn't very believable in a way, and I really think she solidified that relationship in Linger, and wow, let me tell you, the ending of Linger is certainly something. If you were surprised at the ending of Shiver, and hopefully you will be if you haven't read it yet and you choose to read it, you will be definitely surprised with Linger. If you're looking for a new series to read, this is a good one. Don't be put off by werewolves. They're definitely just wolves. It's not so much this mythical werewolf thing that howls at the full moon, you know, they're real wolves in a way, and they, you know, deal with the pack and everything, so they have the whole pack mentality, which is kind of nice, and you get to meet some of the other wolves, which is cool, and that's it, so enjoy!